Now today we talk about Erkbun and Shang Dynasty. Erkbun script was an ancestor of the modern Chinese characters engraved on Erkbun, and it is mainly used in the Shang Dynasty. It was animal bones or turtle shell used in pyromantic divination in the late 2nd millennium BC, and it is earliest known form of Chinese writing so far, as the majority of the Erkbun bearing writing dates from the late Shang Dynasty. The time former of Erk existence is mainly in the Shang Dynasty. It also existed in the early Western Zhou Dynasty, but it is no longer the core. The common Chinese term for the script in Jiaguwen, which is an abbreviation of 阴龟甲兽古文字. Its other name is 阴虚卜辞, as the inscription of divination from Yin runes. In the earliest day, it was called Qi Wen. It means engraved inscription. It was ox scapular and turtle shell. Their bones and shell were themselves the material with which the divinatory technology was performed and archaeological discovery. Its physical remains are distributed across a wide area of Northeast and Central Asia. The earliest example dates to the 1st millennium BC, so the Erkbun did not just appear in Anyang City, in Henan province. This divination method researched a peak of intensity and the major cities of North China during the Shang Dynasty. It was during this period of most intense investment in the divination method. The source of the Erkbun was traced to material wished into the Henghe River near the village of Xiaotun Village, Anyang City in Henan province. The village called them Zorgen bone, and they are used as a kind of medicinal material. Since in 1905, up to now, a new scientific discipline, Erkbun study, have been devoted to deciphering the inscription in order to research Shang Dynasty history and culture and religion. Actual Shang record of the pro-Ottomancy are by definition record of activities associated with particular heat cracking event that took place on the bone or plastron. With great consistency, the divination script placed each divination record on a point on the bone or plastron close to the location where the hint creek appeared. The main cricket of text writing in Erkbun script were official called 真人. It means diviner historians, responsible for recording important events and religious ceremony. Bones, with small dent made in them, were first heated up in fire. Up they creaked, which produced divinatory signs. The way the inscription was spirited by the creak suggested a divinatory sign. Divination by examining animal scapula and the creaks produced in them by hunting is known from many different cultures and historian periods. In Shang China, a bone or shell, having been carefully sewn to shape, was polished on the upwards and had holes chiseled out on the reverse. An example of the upper portion of an ox scapula period in this way is shown above. The application of heat to the holes on the reverse produced characteristic shaped cracks on the obervis. This is the origin of the Chinese character Bu. It means that make divination. The diviner interpreted the cracks as the answer to his question, which were engraved on the polished surface alongside the cracks. Some inscriptions were also colored in with red pigment. And the direction of the king and his diviner, the bone of cattle and wild buffalo, and the shell of turtle shells were scraped clean, polished. The bone or shell were chiseled to produce rows of graves and pits. During the divination, a diviner would build in a heated rod into the bottom of the grave, and then some hairless cracks on the opposite side of the bone or shell. During this opposition, the bone often crack and make a loud creaking noise. The location corresponded to a gold-out notch on the reverse surface where heat was applied to produce the crack. In general, a text is aligned with a crack on the obervis and gold-out notch on the reverse if it is a real divination record. The diviner questioned information and guidance from the spirit of the royal ancestor, and then interpreted the direction of the cracks to provide answer to the king's question. To record the king's question, a scribe would then carve it onto the bone or shell, suffer relative to the cracks. Later, the scribe would carve the outcome onto the surface of the bone or shell. As the earliest known specimens of the Chinese script, the Erkbun inscription are fundamental importance for Chinese paleography. Because it is earlier, its very advanced and fully mature writing system. Obviously, before it, there must have been a long development process of this writing system. The structure and principle of Erkbun inscription are basically the same as the Chinese characters in use today. The late Shang Erkbun writing is essential for the study of Chinese etymology, as Shang writing is directly ancestral to the modern Chinese script. Coupled with different style of the contemporaneous bronze inscription, they were the earliest treasure house of Chinese character in the Shang Dynasty. Although the Erkbun inscriptions are still pictorial in the Shang Dynasty, it has invented into a fully functional and mature writing system which can completely record any expression in the language at that time. By the late Shang Erkbun inscript, the graphs had already invented into a series of mostly non-pictographic function: phonetic long graph, semantic phonetic compounds, and associative compounds were already common. According to an analysis of the structure of the faction of the organ described by the scholar, that there were 23% pictograph, 2% simple indicatives, 32% associative compounds, 11% phonetic loans, 27% phonetic symptomatic compound, and the last one, 6% ancestor. The organ script of the late Shang Dynasty appeared pictographic, as doesn't its contemporaneous, the Shang writing on bronze vessel. The organ script of the Shang of the Little Shang appeared archaic and pictographic in flavor, as does its contemporaneous, the Shang writing on bronze vessel. For example, compare the organ inscription with the bronze writing of Shang Dynasty and the early Western Zhou Dynasty. The organ inscriptions are obviously greatly simplified. The rounded corners in the text are often curvated to straight lines. This is thought to be due to the difficulty of carrying hard, bone surface. Many characters had already undergone extensive simplification and linearization. The purpose of the semantic extension and phonetic loans has also clearly been at work for some time, at least hundreds of the years and perhaps longer. In terms of context, the inscription, which range from under 10 characters for incompletely pronunciation to over 100 characters in rare case, deal with the wide range of topics, including war, ritual sacrifice, agriculture, as well as birth, illness, and death in the real family. Thus, they provide invaluable insight into late Shang Dynasty civilization and society. In addition to the topic mentioned above, they contain also genealogical, calendarical, mesorelical, and astronomical dates, including the earliest record of the solar eclipse and a comet. The society which produced the organ inscription shared many of the characteristics which are recognized today as typically Chinese. We may have also found that the thought constricted by the formlike nature of this composition. The inscription, which had been carved for divination by Shang Dynasty shamans, priests, and kings, actually contained valuable information about the history of Shanghai antiquity. Organ script was not always carved. It is known that the Shang people also wrote with brush and ink, as brass writing graphs have been found on a small number of pottery, shell and bone, and jade and other stone items, and there is evidence that they also wrote on bamboo or wooden books, just like those found from the late Zhou to Han period. This is an inscription engraved on a coarse sapphire Its inscription means as follows. On the day of Renwu, the king of Shang hunted on the foot of the Mai field and obtained a real rhino. The king of Shang rewarded Minister Zai Feng for this, and stayed at Xiao Zhishung's house that day. This is May, the date of sacrifice for the 6 years of the king of Shang. The first Renwu of those, a record of the days, expresses according to a cycle of 60 days. This paragraph of the Erkbun inscription is intently a record of history events, and is a record of the king's reward to the minister. Of course, the result is auspicious. 荣日, it was the days of the special ritual. This is an inscription of a turtle belly carapace. The meaning of its inscription is as follows. Trade question. In the day of Bingzi, fortune teller, the fortune teller was Wei. He asked, "How good is my harvest?" Written question. In the days of Bingzi, the fortune teller was Wei. He asked, "Is my harvest bad?" The days is followed by the divinatory proposition, a statement of the course of action or future event that the divination is intended to validate or assess. The person named Wei that appearing here is a 真人, that is a fortune teller. Please notice that the phenomenon that often occurs in Erkbun is to ask a question from both position and negative result at the same time for a question. This is an inscription on the scapula of a core. Its inscription means as follows. The king of Shang asked during the divination, "Is it rain?" It's the day of Jiacheng. It's the rain on the day of Bingwu. Let's take another look at the turtle shell inscription included in the Erkbun inscription collection. Its inscription means as follows. The word after his name is Zheng, which proves that he is a 真人, that is, a fortune teller. The B here appears in front of the Wang. It says the name of King Shang, or a weaver of explain the action of the king of Shang. The two actions C and D here are the same Chinese character. In this Chinese character, Hong or Ni, when we analyze the meaning of this inscription, it is obviously that this phenomenon is auspicious. Its inscription meaning as follows. For divination in the days of Renwu, Mo is person asked, "Now the king of Shang will lead this troop to crusaded against the two states, the king of Shang diviners. Will there be rainbow again on this day in Jiasheng?" The answer was auspicious. On the day of Jiawu, the rainbow appeared in the east. We found that the Ming Erkbun or fortune teller are two types of people. One is the king, and the other is the 真人. Only the king of the Shang people was permitted to make a divination. A 真人 or diviner made the inscription, and ruler interpreted the result. The power of influencing the living is attributed to the dead ancestor, and therefore it is necessary to sacrifice one's ancestor to obtain the blessing of the dead. So it is manifest as ancestor worshipped. The ancestors of the Shang imperial family are believed to have the ability to predict fortune event and have the ability to directly influence the good, the bad of the fortune generations. They think that success in divination wars against neighboring tribes, in hunting expedition and bringing in the harvest, all depending on the benevolence of the royal ancestor, while sickness and natural disaster were punishment inflicted for imperial to the departed. The Shang believed that their king's relationship to ancestor spirit had spirit significations. The king of Shang inherited the right to the rule from his ancestor, and among the king's responsibilities was a duty to follow the wishes of his ancestors. The king used Earthborn to seek their ancestors' advice on important matters such as when to hunt, where to build cities, and whether to go to war. Their inscription carries the Shang's belief system of supernatural pantheon of Di, the supreme deity, lording over the Lord ancestor and the natural spirit. Because the spirit was thought to have power over nature and human sacrifice. In order to be spirit from the disaster, the Shang sacrificed to them in a special relationship in exchange for favorable earthly conditions. The king of political authority endowed him the largest religions, praised to have the final voice on interpreting divination, while also being the only one who could divine to the more influential higher spirit, the Di. Only the Shang king was believed to have supreme influence in the spiritual realm. Because the real family was believed to enjoy the highest stage both on earth and in the afterlife, the Shang king was in the unique position of being the only embodiment of the continuation of this royal lineage, and so he enjoyed more legitimacy with both political and religious authority. The influence of the religion on Shang governance was pyromantic as divination was consulted for virtual activity every decision. The Shang king sit and occupy of the both political and religious authority, as his religious power made him more powerful politically. Because the Earthborn from the late Shang are all auspicious, the king would always go along with what was prognosticated, which was supposedly what the spirits supposed, whereas there were some inauspicious divinations in the Middle Shang. Later divination shows that the spirits are unconditional, suppositive of every action the king took in regarding to divination. The impact of the use of the Ergebeng inscription on Shang history can be analyzed in three periods. The first period was from 1899 to 1927, which began with Wang Yirong's internal identification and it ended with Wang Duowei's important research. Then from 1928 to 1977, it was the second period in which Ergebeng were used by scholars to reconstruct Shang history, and with remarkable success. From 1978 to the present, the study entered the second period of the development. What characterized the research in this period that not only had senior scholars like Li Xueqin and Qiu Jigui produced both new interpretation of Shang history, but under their leadership, they also emerged a new generation of scholars who had continued and expanded on existing scholarship, were discovered more than a century ago. The study of the Ergebeng and their inscription is far from completed. There are over 30,000 distinct characters found from all the bone fragments so far, which many represented around 4,000 individual characters in their various forms. The majority of these still remained undeciphered, although scholars believed they can decipher between 1,500 and 2,000 of these characters. Now I'm going to end my word today. If you have any question, please write to me. Thank you for everyone.